So today we're going to be talking about what holds people back from essentially pulling the trigger, especially in real estate. And you see it quite a bit because being a realtor, you deal with a lot of, would-be and potential or wannabe investors and, actual investors. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then oddly enough, a mutual friend of ours, Deshaun, recently hit us up this week, or I don't know if he hit you. He probably hit you up too, eh? When did he hit you up?
For a while.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. He's been hitting me up too. Like I usually see him at the gym, but he hit me up and asked, about management. But for the last, how long has it been? 12 years, 10, 12 years that he's wanted to get into the game.
It's been a while.
And he, during our conversation, we ended up talking about fear of actually pulling the trigger. And he had a realization that he was scared the whole time to buy real estate, and now he's actually scared to manage it because he doesn't have the experience and knowledge on how to do it. But basically what I ended up telling him was, it's not about having the experience and the knowledge, it's about getting it.
Yes.
I don't have any, I didn't have any experience or knowledge in anything I did.
Yeah.
So, and especially now it's so easy to get it because you could just hop on the internet.
Yeah, for sure. And we did talk about, there's book knowledge, right? And we can all get that pretty easily, but the experience knowledge, you have to get it in only one way. It's the experience. So the experience knowledge is invaluable. And we talked last week, we led off with, hey, let's get into what holds people back this week. And I can sit here and list a bunch of reasons, which I'm going to do, right? I hear the same things consistently over time, but I will say that it always boils down to fear, right? So one of the big things that I always hear when people are kind of hesitant to make a purchase is that they're afraid that the market's going to crash, right? We always hear this. We always see this. We talked about it a number of times on our podcast already.
Yeah.
And that's the way it comes out, right? It comes out and, I'm afraid the market's going to crash. I'm going to wait for the slowdown or whatever the case is. But underneath the surface of that is just the fear of actually pulling the trigger, right? So all the things that I'm going to list, right, they're going to be important because you can recognize them in yourself. And they're all hindrances that, I've dealt with them myself. I'm not here to call anybody else out, and I'm sure you have at some point as well. But they all do boil down to fear. And I think, our podcast is about financial freedom, essentially, right? There's different avenues to that, but I think one of the best ways is real estate. But financial freedom starts in your mind first, right? If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to achieve it, right? You might, if you don't have the right mindset and you win the lottery, you're going to lose your money, right? If you don't have the right mindset and you're an athlete making millions of dollars a year, you're going to go broke.
Yeah. How often does that happen? That's a super common thing in sports, right?
Yeah. It's a very, very common thing. There's books about it. There's this and that, whatever. So I think it starts in the mind first. So a lot of people are going into, right, they're watching the videos on YouTube. They're watching
1 second. Get Google out of here. Put up the fucking Canadian Protein or some stupid shit. I don't want to support fucking Google.
or put something I don't know, fear or whatever. Put something about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
yeah. The crash in Deshaun.
Yeah.
Get that image up or something. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, keep going.
Where did we leave off? Yeah, it was talking about mindset.
So what are the one ways? So let's talk about the most common things that you hear. What are the most common things that you hear?
Well, like I just mentioned, it's number one is the market crash. I just hear it over and over again, and it's never going to go away, right? So that's the number one thing I have to, as a realtor and kind of an advisor, I have to talk people out of that fear. Now, I'm not here to predict whether or not the market's going to crash. I don't know, okay? And I don't care to know, whatever. And this is something that I learned, before I got into real estate, I was in the stock market for 10 years. Not like some pro trader or something, I just liked the stock market. And the stock market can crash a lot more quickly than the real estate market. The stock market can crash 3 times a year, right? It's very liquid, whereas real estate is a very slow cycle. So there was times when I was in the market, and to me it was a lot of money, right? I had 50 grand in the market or something like that. It felt like a lot of money. And whenever these crashes happened, like my heart would drop. Like I would lose my mind, right? And I would, even though in my mind I was like, oh, the crash is the opportunity, right? Like the crash, like I know I read the books about it, but when push came to shove and that crash came, I didn't operate rationally. I operated irrationally and emotionally. Like I would sell things, I would get afraid, and I wouldn't buy the stocks and the companies that I love in those moments. I would become fearful and basically make stupid decisions. So over like this went on for years, by the way. Like I would make the same mistake over and over and over again because of the emotion, and I just I logically I had the mind, or logically I knew what to do. I just couldn't actually do it. And then at some point, like 7 or 8 years, I started to get into real estate. I started to get more confident. I started to like face my demons or whatever, and I started to change my mindset around the crash. And this was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where I started to say, like, bring on the crash. I can't wait for Amazon to be at a 35% discount. I can't wait for Facebook and Google to like be discounted. Like I've been waiting to buy these stocks for a long time. They keep going up. I don't want to buy on the like I want a crash to come. And finally, like I started making the right moves in those crashes. Like even when the coronavirus hit, like I was like, oh, finally, the Canadian banks are 30% discounted.
Yeah.
Like what? Like, are you kidding me? They're the backbone of our economy. Like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like this is a buy, right? 7% dividend for CIBC.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like finally, and I'm telling everybody to buy. Most people won't.
Yeah.
But I finally like conquered that the fear that dominated me for so long. Now, the thing is with real estate, right? Like I'm not trying to predict the market. Now, what I will say, what we talk about is here are the fundamentals. Like I can, just like with a stock, right? I'm looking at the fundamentals of the company. Well, I'm not saying it's going to go up or down. I don't know what the future holds, but the fundamentals of Amazon tell me like, hey, this is a dominant company. Like I'm going to make a bet on this. And if I lose, I lose, basically, right? Same thing with the real estate market, like in Windsor, right? We're talking about why Southwestern Ontario's market is skyrocketing. It's supply and demand. We talked about that on our last week's podcast. So I'm going to bet that the market's going to keep going up. But if it doesn't, and if we hit a crash, good. Like that's my new mindset. Because the South Walkerville home that's $450K right now, if I can get that thing for $300K in the next 6 months because people are afraid and we're in a temporary glitch that always seems to come, I'm all over that now, right? So I'm looking at that as an opportunity. So that's easier said than done. A lot of people read about it. They think they can do it. And then when push comes to shove, panic and fear hits and whatever. But the worst part about that is when you let that panic and fear stop you from making the move to begin with. Mm-hmm. We were just talking before we started our podcast about, like, you had a kind of a major incident happen at your protein manufacturing facility. Like a health issue, like somebody had whatever, right? Yeah. So I don't want to get into the details, but you made a really interesting comment. Why don't you go into into that?
So basically what happened is somebody trained on a piece of equipment, very, very unfortunate scenario, but somebody that was, thoroughly trained, signed off on whatever, we went through all the, did all the proper things to have this person properly trained and properly.
Yeah, the systems were set up.
The system, the processes and systems were all set up for this particular person and everybody that operates this specific piece of machinery and signage and everything. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to, or had a lapse in judgment, or didn't listen to the training, or whatever. It doesn't really matter what ended up happening. They had a scenario happen. They got hurt, and my whole thing was like, fuck, like, first of all, number one, I hope that the person's okay, and I hope everything works out, and they're gonna be okay. It wasn't a super dramatic scenario, but I don't like when anything happens at my places of business, right? So at that point, I'm kind of like, okay, after I find out the person's actually, gonna be totally fine, and it was an unfortunate scenario, but the person's gonna be fine. My next thing is, okay, well, are we in a position of, is there going to be some sort of risk involved, or whatever the case is with WSIB and whatever the case. But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, well, you know what? Like, I'm tired of thinking that way because, at this point we have 60 people working there, and I can't prevent everything from happening. I can only put systems in place and processes in place that we can be proactive in mitigating risk. to a certain extent. And beyond that, beyond doing everything humanly possible, we have to deal with what happens.
Yeah.
And we have to
How
deal
big
with what
can
comes.
how much can you grow
Exactly.
if you're letting the fear of, well, what if
You can't.
we hire more people and more incidents happen? Well, I'm just
Yeah.
not going to grow, right? Like, there's a cap. You're going to cap
Exactly.
yourself. And you put it really well. It was, you used to kind of try to get out mentally in front of the fear and well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And then you say, you know what? Screw it. Like, now bring it on. Right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever comes my way, I'm going to
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of thinking. Like, that's literally what you said. Like 10 minutes ago.
Exactly. Like, you know,
whatever comes, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. For example, if not that it would be even a big deal because we're so tight, we run such a tight ship at work. But WSIB comes knocking because of that scenario, bring it on. Like, we're tight. Like, so I try to be as proactive as possible for mitigating risk, but I don't want that fear to consume me. So instead of like allowing it to consume me, I'm still gonna have it. There's still fear there, but I'm going to like change the way that I deal with the fear, and I'm going to actually channel it in a different way where I'm going to let that fear change my mindset on operate an even tighter ship. So I'm gonna let that fear actually change the way I think and channel it into actually running a better and bigger business. And I'm not gonna get rid of the fear, because you'll never get rid of the fear. This is what a lot of people, we'll get into that in a minute, but a lot of people try to get over the fear, but that doesn't happen. So instead of me even trying to get over that fear or whatever it is, or hesitation or anxiety or whatever the case is, when something like that happens, I'm going to invite it into my mind, and I'm just going to use it to channel it into motivation to just perform or be more proactive, or just deal with the problem at hand and then move on as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I want the issue to materialize,
Yeah.
so that I
get
can
it over
fucking
with.
move on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it. Exactly.
Yeah. And to grow.
And to grow.
Now, one thing for me, like you learn that you can deal with things when you start to get into, like, when you start making moves and pulling the trigger. Like, you buy your first property, a couple things always come up, right? They're relatively minor, but at the time, especially for your first property, everything seems so big, or your first business venture, all the little things seem so big. And then you deal with these problems, and you get the place tenanted, you deal with the problem tenant, you work it out, whatever, and you're like, oh wow, that's actually not as hard as I thought.
Yeah.
And then you buy your second property, now you have double the problems, you deal with those. And then all of a sudden you start to realize, like, oh, like, whatever comes my way, I can deal with it, It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just problem solving. And if I double my portfolio, I'm going to have double the problems. If you double your business, you're going to have double the problems.
Yeah.
So your mindset can be, well, I don't want double the problems, or I don't know if I can handle double the problems, so I'm afraid to grow. I'm afraid to double my portfolio. I'm afraid that, if I double my portfolio, I have double the risk. And what if the market crashes? Or what if people stop buying protein? Or what if my tenants stop paying? Or what if coronavirus? Or like whatever, right? Like the what ifs, when you start conquering problems, you start to realize, like, whatever comes, like what if that comes, I will deal with it.
100%.
And yeah. So great mentality. Now, you mentioned that, like, you probably don't ever get over fear, right? Like, you don't eliminate fear. It's a human part of us.
Yeah.
It's part of us. But you can channel it, and you'll hear, like, oh, conquer fear, conquer this, conquer that. Well,
You can't. I would venture a guess, Jesse, is there a way to look up, like, what the most common human emotions are?
It's got to be up there.
Fear is for sure up there.
It's gotta
like,
be.
absolutely up there. You know what I mean?
COVID.
What?
Symptoms of COVID.
Fear. Yeah, probably is.
Look it up even more. Like, what are the 5 main feelings? Fear, like joy, fear, sadness, disgust, and anger.
Yeah.
Like, so it's such a basic human instinct to be fearful of stuff that, and not only fearful of stuff, fearful of the unknown. And that's what, speaking of Deshaun, I told him to come on the podcast, and he's probably going to come eventually, but he's got to work today. But he's a perfect example, because he literally waited literally fucking 12 years to do this.
It's been a while.
So he sat on the sidelines for 12 years, not doing anything. Finally got his first property, like, when?
Yeah, two months.
2 months ago.
3 months ago, yeah.
So he could have been in a scenario. I remember him talking to me about it when I started buying shit 12 years ago. I don't even know, 15 years ago, even before. And if he would have started then, who knows where he would have been now?
He'd be financially free.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like
he would have been where he wants to be now. But he's not, because he was scared.
Yeah.
And he let that fear overcome him. So
I mean, props for making the move, right? That's step 1.
100%.
We all start at the base level.
Better
of
late
fear,
than never.
for sure.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do it now, he'd be saying the same thing 10 years from now, just like we all would. So he conquered one level of fear, which is buying the property. Now a bunch of other fears are going to come up, right?
Yeah.
Well, and now I think the thing that's coming up for him is, well, how am I going to manage this property? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with tenants. I don't know how to find tenants. I don't know how to price this property. I don't know. And our whole point is that, like, figure it out. Don't pass that off.
Yeah.
Don't hire a property manager.
Yeah.
Because then you're not going to learn the game. You're not going to conquer that fear. You're going to pass that fear on to somebody else, and that's going to limit your growth as well.
Yeah. So he came at me and he asked the question. He's like, "Hey, should I hire a property manager?" And again, I threw that text message back at him like, "No,
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself." And basically, I wrote back again. I said, if you can't manage one property on your own, you have no business owning real estate. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And people might be able to argue that because they just don't want to deal with it. They got so much money, they can just, have property manager run it. But I told him, I said, listen, that's not the case with him. Understand what goes into managing property. If you want to scale this, and don't even understand for yourself. Understand so that when you do bring a property manager in, you can actually gauge if they're doing a good job or not, because you've done it.
Yeah, you can manage the property manager.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to understand, if you've managed a property, say, for a year, you're going to understand at least a little bit more of, is this guy doing a good job or is he not doing a good job? So it's really important for people to kind of like actually understand what goes into owning real estate.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
Right?
Yeah.
So how are you going to, at the end of the day, it's going to be a little tougher to scale, I feel, because it's going to be harder for you to manage the managers if you can't manage the property.
Yeah, you
So,
don't
or
know the
understand
game.
what goes into it. Yeah, if you don't understand the game. So I told him, I said, yeah, you need to manage it yourself. Even if he wants me to say take over, right, with my property management or whatever. If he wants me to take over that, I don't even want to do it for him off the hop. Like, run it yourself for a year, get a good understanding, and then maybe I'll take over in year 2 or 3.
It's not in your best interest. It's
No,
like,
it's not.
if you were raising a child, you don't just give them everything.
Exactly.
You train them to make their own way because that's in their best interest.
Exactly.
Right? And it's the same thing here. If I come in and save you from the fear, the scariness of property management, which isn't that scary, then you're not going to learn what you need to learn.
Yeah, it's not even. The problem is when people talk about, like, I'm scared to start investing, I'm scared to invest in the stock market. It doesn't matter. I'm scared to manage the property myself. They're not talking about the fear of the property, the fear of the market. What they're talking about is the fear of the unknown. That's really what they actually are saying.
It's their own fear.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they're fearful of the unknown, right? They don't and so am I. Like, fuck, I wake up every day scared. And this is the best part of, and Deshaun, this is what he said. He's like, well, how'd you get over it? And I said, get over what? He's like, well, you obviously got all kinds of, your shit together, and you are where you are because you're obviously not scared anymore. And I said, no. If anything, I'm more scared now than ever because I've got so much at stake.
Mm-hmm. A lot more to lose.
A lot more to lose.
Yeah.
However, I use that fear to channel in. I channel that fear into, like, number one, motivation, and number two, I channel that fear into literally trying to make the most educated and best decisions I can at any given time so that I don't risk
everything,
right? Yeah. So I take the best knowledge that I can, wrap it up, and try to mitigate as much risk as possible. Yeah. But
then you pull the trigger.
Exactly. Yeah. But I never try to get rid of the fear. Yeah. If anything, I want the fear.
Yeah.
I want that fear to literally scare me every day into not accepting failure. I have a fear of failure. I already know that. So, again, going back, I think I've told you a couple stories, but, I had multiple people tell me I would be nothing in life. I even had friends, very close friends, that told me not in that way, but basically told me like I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be shit. And then I also had like family members, like basically express concern for my future. Not telling me I was going to be a failure, but they expressed concern about my future. So, when all you guys and everybody started graduating out of school and I dropped out, I started kind of like, oh my God, like what the fuck am I going to do? Right. So I started to kind of like almost develop this fear of failure. So I channel that fear into motivating me to not fail.
Yeah. And not everybody does that.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the fear motivates you to like, I'm freaking buying real estate. I'm getting financially free. Like I'm doing this. I got to prove to myself and everybody else that I can do this. Other people say, well, that fear is going to keep me at my job and it's going to stop me from buying that property and it's going to stop me from taking that risk. There are two different ways that you can use fear. Mm-hmm. You're using it in the positive. I think 95% of the people don't. And like you were saying, right, when you were going down your path, you weren't following the system path, right? That's laid out for us. Go to school, get a job, work 35 years, retire, go on 1 or 2 vacations a year. Like that's generally the system idea. When you go against the system is going to go against you.
Yeah. And
most people are in the system. And when you don't follow that, when you don't go to school and get a job, like same thing with me. Like when I left my government job, you think anybody supported me? You think my parents are like, oh, that's a great idea, Scott.
Yeah.
Leave your $100K a year job and let your pension go and your benefits. That's a great idea, Scott. No, people said that is risky. You're crazy. Only 1% of the real estate agents make any money. This, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have you've been there for 11 years. Like nobody, zero people, not one person supported me, and that's fine because I knew what I had to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like you experienced the same thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was probably a little bit easier for me because I didn't have a backup plan too, right? So a lot of people, they have jobs, they have families. When I dropped out of school, and like I said, everybody else was graduating around me with great careers and all this stuff, and I was like, holy fuck, what am I gonna do here?
That's the thing, right? There's I don't know, it's a myth or a story or something where you burn your boat.
Yeah.
Like you go to the island and you burn the boat. So there's no going back.
Yeah, exactly.
And when your back's against the wall, this is what I figured out, right? Like when I bought my duplex lot, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm gonna buy the lot, I'll figure it out. Like my back's now against the wall. I own this piece of land. I bought it cash. I got a bunch of money out. I don't know how I'm gonna fund the rest of the bill, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I did, right? Because my back was against the wall and I had to. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, I don't know, you're the kind of guy that put your back against the wall like continuously, right? Like,
I think Jesse can attest to this too. I kind of do things a little bit like
you shoot first, ask questions.
Yeah,
later.
right.
Shoot for,
Yeah. I like to move. I like to run. Sometimes I like to sprint before I know how to crawl. Like, you know what I mean? And what we've done, but here's the thing. I do know. Number one, I have good people behind me. And number two, people are underestimated a lot of the time. So what I like to do is I almost like to test my crew and see, like what we did for the Black Friday deals and the Cyber Monday and stuff. We actually let the product run out of stock. So I told production and shipping, fucking deal with it. So instead of like actually running it and then once stock hit zero, we would just be done. What I did was I let it sell past zero. So they couldn't even catch up with how many sales were coming in, and it fucking worked. Mm-hmm. And what it did was it forced them to get creative, think outside the box to get the job done, and they fucking did it.
That's awesome.
So that's what I did. I said, listen, guys, you guys are smart. You guys are very capable. You're in the positions that I put you in for a reason. Fucking deal with it.
Figure it out. Backs against the wall.
Figure it out. Yeah.
We're struggling.
Exactly. Figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, you're not the right people for the job.
They
fucking figured it out.
It reminds me a lot of like Elon Musk and how he runs Tesla. I hear a lot of stuff about that, right? You put your faith in your people and put their backs against the wall and let them figure it out. And same thing with D in our scenario, right? Like, no, I'm not going to help you.
Yeah.
Go figure it out.
Yeah.
And he will. Like, it's not hard. It's not.
And here's the thing too. I also did tell him. I said, listen, like me, Scott, we own property. It's not like we're not a phone call away. If you have a question,
we'll
like,
guide
fuck's
you.
sakes.
We'll give you some
Yeah.
tips, but you got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
100%.
have to do it. Yeah. And I tell all my clients that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, even if you can afford to get a property manager to start, do the first couple yourself.
For sure.
Do the first couple yourself.
100%. Like, no, they're not going to care as much as you.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you even try?
So a couple really good points here, right? Fear can either be used to say, hey, I'm doing this. I don't care what it takes. Put my back against the wall.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. What are some other ones that I don't know, maybe you see, right? Like you're in the business world. You have people contacting you all the time. Like what are I can think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, go.
You know, not taking a long-term perspective is a huge thing that stops people.
People are very impatient.
Yes, like if you have a goal of owning 20 or 30 properties and you have a 2-year time frame,
Yeah.
or if you have a goal of building a multi-million-dollar business in a 2-year time frame, you're good luck.
Yeah.
That 2-year time frame is going to stop you because you're not going to be able to do it and it's going to frustrate you and you're going to quit.
Do you actually get that a lot where people come
All the time.
Really?
So when that happens, if I can't bring them down to earth, I do not work with them.
Interesting.
I won't work with them because they're not realistic and I know they're not serious.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to buy 5 to 10 properties in 1 or 2 years and you have a $50,000 a job a year with no real estate experience and no cash saved up, like you're not real, it's not likely. Now,
Yeah.
some people you could do it, it's possible, but for most people it's not. So if somebody comes to me with an unrealistic scenario and an unrealistic timeline, I know they're not serious. I know I can't help them. Now I'll try to help them and I'll say, look, man, you got to expand your timeline. You know, here's where you are. Start with one property. If I can't talk them off the ledge, sorry, man, like we're not a good fit. And I've wasted too much time to realize
Have you actually told people that?
Yeah, I did it. I did it the other day. I told somebody that we're not a good fit.
And what was the reason? It was for that? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was the scenario? Like, lay out the exact scenario.
Exactly that, right? Like I want to quit my job in the next 2 years. Okay, cool. What does that look like? How many properties? How much cash flow do you need? Well, I need $3,500 a month to replace my job. So how much? If the average cash flowing property is $400 or $500, that means you need 7 properties. How do you plan to buy 7 properties in 2 years? Well, I can partner up with people. I can do this, that, whatever. How much money do you have saved? Well, I got $20,000 saved. Like you can't even buy 1 property.
Yeah.
So here's what you
Yeah.
do, man. Like go to work, whatever. Like start work and save up your money. Like
Yeah.
hit me up then, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
but right now, like we're not. I can't help you.
Yeah.
Your goals, probably not realistic, right?
And what in a scenario like that, like what you just said, what I try to tell people, use your job as the bank.
yeah,
like,
it's a tool.
It's
not-
a tool.
yeah.
Like change your change your mindset of your daily job. Don't have this mindset of like your daily job is holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
Have a mindset of your daily job is actually funding your investment or your next career goals.
because nobody else is going to do it.
Exactly.
Like you better latch onto that job for a couple
100%.
of years, grind it out. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. You did it. You worked
Yeah.
at Chrysler. Like you saved your money,
Whoa,
whatever.
whoa.
Didn't
GM.
you? GM. Sorry.
I had a lot of jobs. Actually, I was working at GM. I had 3 jobs at one point. I was working at GM. Was I working at GM in 3 jobs? No, I was working at GM and I was working in the produce department at theirs.
Nice.
So I'd work on GMs on the weekend, and then I would still do produce after school or whenever I could.
Yeah, like
But, yeah.
you put in your time. Like
yeah.
I put in my time. When I bought my first couple of properties, I still stayed at my government job for 2 or 3 years, right? I was doing real estate and my job. It was like really hard, but I knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do, right? You got to
Yeah.
grind it out. You got to make your way. And when people are unwilling to do that, you know that they're probably beyond help. They need to be humbled.
Yeah.
And you can't always humble people. The world might have to do it, right? You might have to go and try, to go do it, and then you'll see like, oh shoot, it doesn't really work this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of things like that. So, but when you take a big goal, like say if you have a goal of 10 properties, if you stretch that out over 10 years, it's actually really easy.
Yeah.
Like 1 property a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then once you start getting good at it, you can say, oh shoot, like I can go faster than this. And then
Yeah.
maybe you bring your scale, you bring your time frame down and start doubling up and things
Yeah.
like that. But you stretch it out to begin with. And even, worst case scenario, 10 properties in 10 years is like you're going to
Yeah.
be a multi-millionaire
Yeah.
in terms of
People need to realize they have to work almost backwards. Okay, so say for example, Buddy wants to replace his income in 2 years or whatever the case is. You actually have to you actually have to dissect, well, how the fuck am I actually going to do it? You can't just say it. You have to figure out how to do
Yeah.
it, right?
And
So-
once you work backwards and you see the actual numbers, then you can actually make a realistic plan based
Yeah.
on your current scenario. Because you're not Joe Schmo from YouTube
Yeah.
who told you how he did it. He might have been in a different situation or a
Yeah.
different market, or he had different
Yeah.
contacts, or his parents gave him money, or whatever. Who
Yeah.
knows? But you have to figure out your scenario based on your situation and your personal goals.
And I think that's a big issue, man. I never saw shit like this happen when I first got into it. It's fucking YouTube and it's social media that are telling people, hey, you can do this. And the reality of it is you fucking can't. and it's a slim chance that you can.
A few people can. Like, a few
For
people
sure.
are LeBron James, right? They're
Yeah,
just
sure.
good.
Yeah.
They just do it.
Yeah.
99% of the league had to grind their way to get to
Yeah.
the NBA or whatever the
Yeah.
case, right? You got a few people at the top that just, whatever, they're naturally gifted, they have this, whatever, who knows,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Not everybody's LeBron James in real estate. You're going to have to, like, I'm not LeBron James.
Yeah.
I've grinded my way. I worked a government job for 11 years. I started with one property, turned that into 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm grinding my way to the top. So don't go out there thinking that you're going to be Mr.
LeBron
Millionaire
James.
in a couple years, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And I think you're in a testament to that, man. Like, you know, I hop on your social media account, I see the Lambos, I see this, that, whatever, all these cars. But that's been a grind, man.
Yeah,
Like, you
man.
work harder than
Yeah.
than anybody that I know personally.
Yeah.
But
It's
touch on
tough,
that from
man.
your experience, man. Like, but people just see the end result.
I know. It's honestly crazy, man. Like, I get these comments and I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Give me an example. Give me an
Like,
example.
people will, you know, even dumb shit. Like, I'll get comments like, you got money from fam. Like, what was that one comment, Jesse, that I got even on YouTube even? There's a lot of them. He said, really? I don't go in the comment.
Every once in a while.
Really, eh? Like, you're fucking.
Not so much recently.
Okay, so one guy, I specifically remember this one. It was something like, you're fake. You had a family member. You got your money from your grandparents. You got 400. They were like very specific, which was like super weird. You got 400 grand from your grandparents that gave you money. You treat your employees like fucking slaves. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like people just are crazy in what they think. And and it was like so specific that I'm like, what the fuck is this guy
Yeah,
even? Like,
yeah.
he must have like talked to somebody. And what's crazy is like, my grandparents were poor as fuck. And I actually treat my employees like extremely well. I don't even pay minimum wage or anything. I give everybody benefits. Like, everybody gets benefits. I give everybody even like bonuses every paycheck if they're good.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like, so when I see shit like that coming, I'm just like, this
Hey,
is so
you know what I
fucking
think that
stupid.
is? I think that is like, that guy that wrote that, I can't do what you're doing because you work way harder than me.
Yeah.
So I have to come up with an
They-
excuse
yeah.
that the only reason you're able to do it is not because of hard work, it's because you got lucky.
Yeah.
Because he's not willing to do what you did.
And what I was exactly, and what I was getting at is that makes people feel better about themselves, right?
Yes.
And their shortcomings.
Yeah.
So you know, I've gotten comments like, okay, so let's get back into like what comments I get like yours. I get people saying stuff too, like, hey, you know, I'm just too, I can't get over the fear, and I can't get over, you know, the fact that I want this too quick, and, you know, how do I do it super quick? And I'm just like, guys, like, so I get a lot of people actually asking me for advice, and like, especially on Instagram and stuff, they'll DM me, and, you know, I see it come in quite a bit, asking like, you know, how do I make it happen? How do I make it quick? Like, everybody's like extremely impatient. And then even I'll ask the kid's age, and they're like, oh, I'm fucking 19. And I'm like, guy, like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, you need a way longer, you know, outcome of it, or like a way longer timeline. And this was actually kind of funny. So I went to a couple real estate group fucking in-person I don't even know what would you even call that, like seminar or whatever.
Meetup, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so I was actually invited to speak. So after I was invited to speak, and everybody was kind of like networking, whatever you want to call it, I had a bunch of people come up to me and was like, you know, hey, like, you know, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, you know, I had this one particular guy come at me, and he was like, yeah, we're going to own, you know, 20 properties in the next year, and that's my goal. And he's like, and I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, that's pretty crazy. You look like a young guy. And I'm like, how old are you? He's like, fuck, you know, I don't know, 23 or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, man, like that's aggressive. And then I'm like, well, fuck, this guy must own like some property or whatever. Cause, you know, I started around that age. And I'm like, well, how much property do you have now? He's like, oh, I got none. And I'm like, well, how much money do you have saved up? He's like, well, I got, a couple grand. And
Do you have a job?
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Yeah, and I'm like, what do you guys have? Like, do you guys work? And he's like, we're kind of doing our own thing. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And he's like, well, we're networking right now, but we're going to do this.
I talked to
and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I talked to the same guy. I know who you're talking about.
Do you? Yeah. Have you? Yeah.
Same conversation.
Yeah. And I'm like,
and I was like, no, this guy can't be helped.
Yeah. These guys just have no idea what the fuck real life is about.
Yeah. And if you try to bring them down to reality,
no
somebody that's done it, you try to give them advice, they won't hear you. And that's arrogance. To me.
Yeah. And the problem too is, again, they
timeline.
Timeline.
Way too short.
But the fucking the main problem is they fucking listen to YouTube all day long. Like that's the fucking problem. They got guys on there telling them it is possible.
Yeah.
And maybe they did it. Maybe they came into money. Who knows? The problem too is here's the thing. A lot of people fucking lie. Like that's the big problem too. A lot of people fucking lie. A lot of people bullshit people. Like we're not here to do that.
You want to know why? It's because that sells.
Exactly.
If you tell somebody they can get something quickly,
100%,
that will sell 10 times more than whatever we're putting out there.
If I put out a real estate course where it was like, get 20 properties in a fucking year, and this is how I did it, because I actually did it. I actually did do it. I got 15 in 1 year, right? So I actually did do it. So if I put that out,
you'd have 10 times the response.
100%. But the fucking problem is, you won't be able to do what I did because it was very unique to my scenario.
Yes.
So that's the fucking problem.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It might help one person out of 1,000 actually do it, but the 999 will get nothing out of it.
And here's how I did it. And I'm gonna fucking tell you for free. I fucking saved every penny I possibly could, and I traded my life, vacations, nice shit, new cars, fucking nice clothes, nights out at the fucking bar. Like, I traded that shit to be able to do that. And you fucking won't be able to do that because you don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it, you won't do it.
Like, do you remember when I was working at when I was bouncing?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? So one of the reasons why I ended up bouncing was so that I can actually go out and make money while still partying.
It's a good call.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
You're still out there, yeah.
And what did I do? I ended up convincing all you fucks to come to my bar and hang out with me while I was bouncing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was sacrifice. Now,
100%.
I didn't see it at the time, but you had a plan.
I actually like wanted that to happen. That's actually what I did.
Yeah, it's like a night out for you.
100%. It was. Obviously, eventually it got kind of like, fuck, because of, dealing with dumb shit all night long. But that was, I bounced for how long? 5-6 years? But in the beginning, that's actually what I did. I couldn't work at TPT GM anymore. So on the weekends, after my normal job, I would bounce.
Let's make that one of our next points. Sacrifice.
Oh,
you want to get financially free. You want to make it in this world. You want to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. So
how many people won't?
Yeah. We want to talk about that.
Well, like
what I sacrifice and what you sacrifice.
Yeah. I mean, just the idea. Like, how many people are unwilling to forego the nice car and the upgraded 2-story home in their 4th year of work while they're trying to save up to buy investment properties and create the life that they want, but they can't. They can't not buy that car. They can't. Like, buying a car when you're trying to build your portfolio, if you don't have a lot of money, is like when you go to the bank, it's a debt service ratio. When you have a $500 car payment, it severely hinders your lendability. It's gonna cramp your investment portfolio. Now, eventually, you can go buy all the cars you want, but when you're starting out, just sacrifice for a couple years. You drove a Windstar. What was it, Ford Windstar?
Remember that fucking?
Yeah, we drove downtown in your freaking '94 Ford Windstar.
'99, motherfucker.
Well, whatever. I was embarrassed as hell to get that.
Oh, come on, it was awesome though. So, and remember before that fucking Cavalier that I had with the roof all shit. I was bouncing downtown, and someone broke into I kept the sunroof cracked, and somebody broke in behind the bar in my fucking car, and I couldn't afford, or I didn't at that. I don't know if I could afford it at that point, but I couldn't afford to fix the fucking car.
Yeah, maybe you just didn't care. Like you're like, you know what, my goals are bigger than this freaking sound system or whatever the case was.
Yeah. So. Yeah, oh yeah, man. So I drove that car. I legit drove that car. I got that fucking car when I was like, oh man, how old was I? Maybe like, I was in high school when I got that car. So I was 19 years old when I bought that car, and I drove that fucking thing for 10 years. I drove that thing until I was 29 years old. I remember literally sticking boxes in that fucking car, like where the trunk wouldn't even shut, for Canadian Protein. Having to drive it to the post office because I didn't have enough packages to call for a delivery. They wouldn't come fucking pick it up.
And I remember, like, you were having success, like, at the time. You weren't broke, whatever. And I remember you having this car and the Windstar, and I'm like, why is this guy? I think didn't you live, like, you had your nice house and you still had that Windstar, like, on Gundy, I think.
Did I have it in Gundy? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, at some point,
did I? Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
yes, exactly.
Like and I'm like, why does he still have this Windstar?
Yeah. And the reason why I had that Windstar too, I would drive. That was like my daily. That was my car. That was like legit my car.
That's what I mean.
So like that fucking thing. I ended up having to park that fucking van on the road because it was staining my driveway with rust. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that's for real.
And at this time, like, you had the ability to probably easily go buy something nicer. But here's the thing. This is the way I put it.
So exactly like what you said, I didn't do it because of debt service ratio, number one. And I still won't drive like a really nice daily driver. I got a Jeep. Like, that's not the nicest fucking, whatever. It's like $500 a month maybe. I love Jeeps though. Like, I love Jeeps, but I won't go out and buy like a fucking Bentley or whatever to drive every day. But yes, debt service ratio is a big thing, and that comes into play. And then also at that point though, when I had that fucking van, remember I had like no seats in the back. I used it as a cargo van for fucking paint, drywall, fridges, stoves for like my rentals. And then also if I needed to like haul, a piece of equipment to a shop to get fixed or whatever, I used it. Like, that was like my fucking car.
Here's how I'll put it. Your goal
Yeah.
was bigger than your need to look cool.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
And to feel cool and to feel special and to keep up with society.
I remember, like, oh my God, dude. I legit remember going on dates in that fucking thing. Like, I'm not, like, imagine rolling up in that fucker and I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. And what's crazy is, even people and who I was picking up respected it, or who I was going on a date with, whatever, respected it because they could see on the trajectory that I was on, and that was more attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
It didn't matter that I was rolling up in a piece of shit like that. They understood my goal, and they knew I was going to head there, and they knew I was going there, and they wanted to be a part of that.
And that's harder.
That's a whole other fucking thing that we can get into, but yeah.
I can imagine.
What do you mean you can imagine?
What do you
fucking know?
For what?
The fucking attraction thing and everything. You what are you talking about?
For girls?
It doesn't even matter.
Driving that car.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We fucking went through it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
huge.
I can imagine what they were thinking. You fucking know what they were thinking.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why Marlene is still with you. Picking up in that van. To be honest, but sacrifice sounds easy until it comes game time, and until you have a little bit of money in your bank account, and you can easily, like, I want to buy a Tesla right now really bad. I have a 2009 car with 230,000 kilometers. I could go buy a Tesla. I could finance or probably just buy it, whatever. But like, my goal's too big for that right now. But it's taunting me. Yeah. It's there. It's in my mind, and I have to fight that. The old me, I would already had it.
Yeah, we talked about that before. You had a deposit on that, and I was
like,
I
actually did. I had a Model. I had a
car?
deposit on a Model 3, and I was just starting my real estate stuff. Yeah, I was still at my job. I could have afforded it. Whatever. Yeah. I thought I could do both, whatever. But once I had the mindset switch that, like, oh my God, if I have a $70,000 liability on my paper, when I go to the bank, they're going to hammer me for lending. I'm not going to be able to buy 2 or 3 properties. Like, that's going to severely hinder me. So guess what? My old mindset went like this. The Tesla was up here. My goals were down here because I didn't have any goals, right? I was just going to work every day. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it went like this. No, my goals are way bigger than this Tesla. And I'll buy the Tesla down in the future when I have my assets lined up. But no, I can't sacrifice that because it's going to cost me years. Yeah. One stupid purchase can absolutely roast you.
Oh man, and people have a hard time with that.
Yeah. It's human nature.
So again, I go back to social media. That sure didn't fucking help. Man, you know what I mean? You're looking at that shit and you're comparing yourself to all these fucks on there, and the majority of them don't even own their own shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't own anything. The 2-story that you live in, the bank owns it. It's not paid off. The car that you lease isn't owned. you own no assets, and you got a bunch of liabilities. That's the world.
I think I'm the only stupid motherfucker that bought this car's cash, to be honest with you. So, like, in hindsight, but again, I didn't want that shit on my books. I didn't want that fucking hanging over me. And I for stuff like that, I need to know that I can afford it without
actually
unequivocally.
I have a great point here.
But it's not that wasn't the greatest financial decision, but I didn't give a fuck because I wanted to. I didn't want to come out and be like, hey, I own this and I own that, and I truly don't.
But it's tempting. But
it is.
So here's a really good point for people. I just learned this the other day. $1 of earned income is the equivalent of approximately $7 or $8 of lendability from the bank. So you have like an 8-to-1 ratio. Like if you go to your job and you make 50 grand, it's the equivalent of the bank lending you 350 grand to buy a house. Think about that.
Yeah.
So if you earn 50 grand, but then you have a $30,000 car payment, well, your lendability now goes down 7 times $30,000 or whatever the ratio is. Like it's a significant hit.
It really is.
Because it's a 1 to 7 the way the bank looks at your debt service ratio. So huge factor. And that's another reason why, like, if you're, I just kind of am learning this myself, but if you're declaring income, and if you have, say if you own a couple rental properties, you can do some things to show a lower income, right? You can depreciate your property, this and that, whatever. But when you realize, like, if you're trying to scale your portfolio, you might want to show more income in a few particular years because you can go to the bank and get more leverage.
Yeah, like in the start, right? So I claim way less income, right? So on the books, I might claim like 85 or 100 grand. But the bank, like once you start working with banks and they know, like, and you can produce financial statements, they'll lend against what, like, the performances of like your particular businesses.
Yeah,
right?
if you have the business cash flow or some sort of cash flow to cover it. But.
Also, it gets to the point too where a lot of people starting out, the best option would be to actually buy real estate in your own personal name. But as you grow, the banks will not end up doing that. You'll want to put it in a corporation for liability purposes, but a lot of the mainstream banks will not loan according to you. They'll loan according to how the property actually performs.
It's a business.
Exactly.
How does the business work?
But from the beginning, they'll loan according to what your income produces.
So when I learned this and I was working in my old job, I would be like, oh, I got to show more income this year. I got to work overtime. I got to show more income so I can go to the bank and get more money to buy more real estate. Like that's, in a way, that's sacrifice, right?
You
I'm
use your job as a
my
tool.
time.
You weren't like, oh, I'm going to fucking quit and then go do it.
Yeah,
you use your
because
job
it's
as a tool.
stupid. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Exactly.
Or it would cost me 10
significantly
times.
hinder it and slow it down.
Yeah, and that's another thing where if your goal's up here, then the sacrifice becomes a lot smaller, right? Me going to work every day is a sacrifice because I don't like my job or whatever your case is. But when your goal's this big, it's an easy sacrifice to make.
And it makes that pill a lot easier to swallow.
Yeah.
So that's actually another thing that comes up quite a bit. I get a lot of people that are either number one in school or right out of school that want to scale a portfolio. They don't fucking own anything and they don't have a job. So like my first advice to them is like literally go get a fucking job.
Yeah.
Like literally go get a fucking job.
Like you almost have no choice.
Don't go on CERB.
Yeah.
Get a fucking job.
Yeah.
You know what
go
I mean?
on CERB, the bank's not going to touch
No,
you.
exactly. So go get a fucking job, and that's even come up. Well, I get CERB payments.
Yeah.
Fuck is that?
Yeah.
So go get a fucking job.
Grind it out. House hack.
Exactly.
Start out.
And that's exactly what I tell people. Buy a house for your fucking self, right? That way when you go to sell that property, there's no capital gains or anything like that, which we might be seeing capital gains on that shit, actually. Like, that's actually probably one of the things that's coming down the pipe.
Socialist government.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's in the realm of possibilities.
That's actually like what Jay is. So my accountant is actually saying is probably going to be one of the first ones coming up.
I believe it.
No. So fucking do it now.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, do it fucking now. But that's actually my number one thing that I probably get. I pull a younger demographic, don't get the beard twisted, but I'm still young. So I get a lot of people that are still in university, school, whatever, or just fresh out of it. They don't have a job, but they want to fucking start this enormous portfolio
without really working for it.
That's taken me fucking 15 years to do, and they want to do it in fucking 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Here's another thing. How about our next
without
topic?
the money? I didn't even get into how I even started, which was like, remember how we were talking about people that are on social media that they say like it's possible, but I actually did it. The way that I actually did it was I literally saved all my fucking money.
Yeah.
So I actually had the money to do it. There you go.
Yeah, And
give
you
me
had to-
$1,000.
Yeah.
Everybody watching this, give me $1,000 fucking dollars. So, like literally, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I literally worked as much as fucking possible. So even in this, listen to this. How fucking ridiculous is this? In high school, I was still a paper boy.
Jeez, that's
So
embarrassing.
listen, I know. Listen. So in high school, this is what I did. So this is I'll go through like exactly so people can fucking understand how I actually started all this. Okay, so I started doing papers when I was 8 years old. Okay, in my neighborhood. So I started doing papers when I was 8 years old. I lived on. My paper route was a horseshoe. Okay, so I had a horseshoe like this. Okay, so then another horseshoe came up. So I was doing papers for maybe like a year or so or whatever. So maybe like when I was 10 years old, another horseshoe here ended up coming up. The person quit. Okay, so I contacted the Windsor Star and I said, listen, I can do this horseshoe. Let me do it. So at this point, it was like before school that I was doing this. Okay, so I said, listen, I can do it. I can do it as long as this guy took it, I could do mine and his in the same amount of time. And they said, no fucking way. So what I would do is I would then rollerblade. Okay, not like these fucking weak ass people where they get their parents to drive. I would rollerblade. Okay, so I could be faster, even in the wintertime. Okay, I would rollerblade, do my route, and then do the other person's route. So I was making double a route. Okay, and I was doing it before school so that I can go to my other job after school at Zayres. Not at that point in time. So when I was in high school, I was still doing the papers, both routes. I would do it before school, and at that point in time, the requirement for before having the papers done or delivered before like work or before a specific time wasn't in effect. Okay, so I would do it before everybody left for work, and the reason why I did that was number one, because I had another job after school, but number two, I would get like double the fucking tips because people could then bring their paper to work with them and read it. So they were like, oh my God, this guy's fucking awesome, right? So I would do that, and then it got to the point where after after I graduated high school, and I was working TPT, I think I quit. I'm pretty sure I quit the papers a little bit before I ended up working TPT. I think I might have quit the papers in like grade 10 or something. But then I worked at Zayres after school pretty much every day and on the weekends, and then worked TPT Friday and Mondays. And then that was a great job. That paid like crazy. And what I would do on TPT was I literally never turned down a shift. Like fucking literally never turned down one. So I would go there, never turn down a shift. I would work my fucking ass off. And I would usually, because of that, I would get jobs that were off of the line. Okay, so this was like TPT on the line at GM. I would finish my job that was not necessarily on the line. So every once in a while, I would get these jobs where you had to like assemble things that went into the line. I would do that job as fucking fast as possible because all the other students were like fucking idiots and couldn't do that quick enough, or they were just lazy. So I would do that job as fast as possible, get that job done. Then I would go around to the people on the line and ask them if they wanted to go home. So leave work early on a Friday, Monday night, whatever. So guess who would always get the fucking first call at GM? I would.
Every time.
I would get the first fucking call at GM, and then I would also get calls in, even if they didn't need students that night, they would call me in, and they would literally have me sit in the lunchroom because they knew if they called me in, I would do a great job, and I could take on any job on the line because I would literally go around asking everybody's job. Hey, do you want to go home tonight? Do you want to go home tonight? So I wouldn't finish my job as fast as possible off the line so that I can go sit and fucking jerk off in the lunchroom like all the other students. What I would do is I would literally I would literally go around the line asking people to go home. So I would continue to work so that I knew these guys would want me in first over and above anybody else. So I would get all the hours. But people aren't willing to do shit like that. I fucking saw it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it pretty clear. Like if we had to bring another point up here in $1 Million Mindsets, if we're going to title this that, how about this one? Hard work.
Oh fuck, work ethic. That's really the only thing I have.
It doesn't
work ethic.
Yeah, you have a crazy work ethic, 100%. But most people don't.
I know.
Like it's wild, and you want this crazy success, and you don't have the work ethic, and you don't want to work for it.
Exactly.
Well, they don't jive. Those two things don't jive. Like you can't have one without the other, in my opinion.
My whole thing is, if I work 100 hours a week and you're only willing to work 50, I'm going to be further ahead twice as fast as you.
Yep.
End of
it's
story.
just numbers. It's
Because
just
I'm not.
yeah.
Because I refuse to believe that I'm not as smart as you.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, and maybe I am, or maybe I'm not. I don't really give a fuck. But I'm gonna assume we're not. We're at the same level of, say, smartness, just for example, or hypothetically speaking. But I'm gonna work twice as hard as you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get twice as far as you in half the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fucking numbers game.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
That's it.
Yeah, and what's the old saying? You go, there's not a big crowd when you go the extra mile. Like there's only a few people.
Yeah.
Man, did I ever have to learn that when I got into the business world and
Yeah.
real estate, right? You know how many times I hear like, wow, you work so hard, Scott. I'm like, really? Like I feel like I'm just working, like
Yeah.
I'm just doing a good job for you because you're my client. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm doing anything crazy, but
Yeah.
I guess the standard is so low,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
people don't answer their phone.
Yeah.
People don't respond until a day or two later,
Oh,
and then
man.
it's too late, or people are unwilling to alter their schedules.
I legit only work with people that answer their phone.
Yeah. Well, how can
That's
you?
it.
How can you not? Right, the world moves fast, like especially the business world. Like,
And
things
that's
are-
how I move. I need to move fast. Answer the fucking phone.
Mm-hmm.
I will not work with you if I can't get you on the phone. Like fucking
Well,
legit.
it's not even you won't. You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah.
you can't get business done that way in
Yeah.
this world. Like when stuff
Yeah.
hits the fan. But so I don't know if we had to sum this up, right? Let's title this Millionaire Mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number one, fear is either an opportunity or it's a glass ceiling that you can't break
Yeah.
through. Which one is it for you?
Yeah, you
right.
need to channel it. You need to channel it and use it as a motivational
Yeah.
tool.
Like I'm more afraid of not doing things
100%.
than I am of doing things now.
I legit use my fear for number one. I use it as motivation to not fail.
Yeah.
So I have a fear of failure. So I use my fear of failure to not fail.
Yeah.
And number two, I use it as a fear of regret. Like I have a
That's a good one.
legit fear of
Big time.
regret.
Big time.
I need to do everything in my life to the fucking absolute fullest so that when I'm laying on my fucking deathbed, I could say, I fucking did it.
I did it.
I fucking did it, and I went all in my fucking life, and I have no fucking regrets. So that is important to me. That is wildly important to me. I will not fucking die with regrets.
What do you
I
say?
will not
right?
look back on my life and think, fuck, I should have done that. I
Yeah.
fucking refuse.
I don't think I've ever really done anything that I've regretted. Right? Like when you look back, like, well, if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have gotten me here. Like
I've done stuff that I regret.
but you
here
don't.
and there.
Yeah. Well, most of the time,
Yeah.
you regret the things you don't do. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I should have done that. I
Yeah.
should have bought that property. I should
Yeah.
have done that business.
And
I
my
should have-
regrets are like very superficial. Like
Yeah,
I don't
superficial.
like to not finish shit, so I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have finished school.
Oh.
For more of the experience.
Well,
really.
then go do it.
I don't want to.
That's what I thought. Yeah, superficial. Okay, so fear's a big one.
I have a problem with what am I looking at? Like authority.
Gotcha.
I have a problem with authority.
So you know what? Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing because
Yeah.
authority sometimes can hold you back. You know,
Yeah.
not breaking the law or anything,
No,
but
no,
like
that's not what I
people
mean,
telling
yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah, especially now with the
So
schools, 'cause
that's
really
some
fucked.
advice, right? Burn the ships.
Yeah.
Burn the ship so you can't go back.
Yeah.
Burn it. Put your back against the wall. Then you'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Okay. So fear, lack of hard work,
Yeah.
lack of work ethic,
Yeah.
lack of sacrifice. Right. Be willing to sacrifice. If you want to
Yeah.
be financially free, sacrifice.
That's it.
It only takes a few years. It should only take a few years. And then expanding your time frame.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it in a year or two. It's going to be a decade. And you know
Yeah.
what? The journey is the fun part.
Here's
you
what
never-
I would, here exactly. Here's what I would say about that expanding your timeline. You can have a short timeline, but you better fucking understand what it's going to take. And if you're just kind of like, oh, I want 20 properties, but I don't really know how I'm going to do it, or my plan is like not actually realistic, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
So then at that point, expand your timeline.
Yeah.
If you don't have access to what you need access to make that happen in a couple years,
Let's make it this. Let's not expand your timeline maybe too general. Have a realistic timeline.
Yes.
For your personal scenario, not the one that you saw on YouTube. For
Yeah.
your situation.
Yeah.
Just coming out of school, don't have a job.
Yeah.
Expand it to 5 to 10 years.
Exactly.
Okay. If you got $1 million in the bank, you might be able to do it in 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You probably will be.
Yeah, and I have another one. Stop watching YouTube. Stop listening to these fucks on Instagram, on social media. Listen to us.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's a good one, yeah.
There's the 5. Is that 5?
That's 5.
Listen to us. We know what the fuck we're talking about. We're realistic. Stop the bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop these fucking guys flexing all over the fucking place on these fucking channels here because it's all bullshit and they're trying to sell you shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to sell you anything
Yeah. In fact,
except these fucking sick ass sweatshirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, which by the way, we're going to be doing a giveaway on
Yeah.
these. But Those are great points. So yeah, I think we can sum up into those 5.
Yeah, social media will hurt you too.
Yeah,
Whatever.
big time.
Use it for entertainment value, but just realize that a lot of people are fucking fake on it.
We could come on here, man. We could sell a whole different product very easily.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bought 11 properties in 3 years. Look how quick I did it. Well, it's
Yeah.
not about that. Like this
Yeah.
was a grind.
Oh, for sure.
And I had it took me 11 years to get to that point to do it in 3 years.
Fuck, you know what? Maybe
know?
I will write a book in a program. It'll be like literally fucking, you pay like $1,000 and you get it. It's fucking one sentence.
Why don't we
one sentence long? Literally one sentence fucking long. Okay, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say we should we should do a book. We'll
For
have
sure.
somebody write it, right?
Yeah.
But we'll just give the ideas and they can
For
write.
sure.
I'm not a
Yeah,
good
we
writer,
should. Yeah.
but that'd be a cool idea. Put these into a book. And,
Yeah, we should ask people if leave a comment if you guys think we should write a
Yeah,
book.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thanks for tuning in. Millionaire Mindsets. It's not rocket science,
Jesse,
but
Millionaire Mindset title.
a lot easier than people make it seem.
It's really not that difficult,
Yeah.
but it's not difficult in theory, but it's very difficult in practice.
because
it's ultra difficult.
Because human nature goes against everything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But people will sell you human nature. You get it quick. Get it this. Get
People
it that. Don't have to work
online
hard.
sell you laziness.
Yeah, we can do this.
They literally do.
Without working your job, we can do this for you in 3 years.
Oh my
Just use
God.
other people's money.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
So that's it.